What's going on, people? This is Crazy D. Welcome to another installment of Crazy D Talks Film Production. We are actually simulcasting and broadcasting on two different formats. We're actually on Facebook Live and we are on Instagram Live. So feel free to tune in and type in, and we'll be going over and talking and going over things. So, how has your weekend been? Let me tell you. My weekend was great. The film review, matter of fact, here's the t-shirts. The film review t-shirt in the classic black with the white lettering, available now on Lordlandfilms.com. Matter of fact, let me go on ahead and grab that real quick. Let me grab that real quick, bring this up real quick. I'm going to grab that, and that's the first thing I'm going to put in as we begin to talk, is the link to order the t-shirt. Order the t-shirt, help support us, you know what I mean? Help support the film review as we review films, movies, music, culture, and whatever else comes to mind. So our weekend was filled with the R. Kelly piece, the one, the hit job, really, the R. Kelly piece called Surviving R. Kelly. And the consensus is in, people. What's going on, Shantae? Thanks for checking in, watching. The consensus is in, and it's come to the conclusion that people are asking the same question of everyone, of all the parents. Why did you take your child, or even agree to have your child meet with R. Kelly? In whatever circumstances, and why did you do it? Everyone knew what R. Kelly was doing. Everyone knew that he was, known to talk to young women. However, since these revelations, a few things have come out. We were listening to V103 this morning, Atlanta's #1 radio station. And they had a couple of the parents on, and people called up and asked that same question. Why did you do this when you knew what R. Kelly was? And the parents that were up there, their child was actually in college and of age, 20, 21, when she decided to go be with R. Kelly. So there's really no there because no one is pressing charges, and if the person really wants to be with you, then they will be with you. And that is what the whole point is, of having a clear view, a clear composition of what's actually happening. And this is what this documentary, this docu-series has brought out, that there's a clear understanding and a clear composition of what's actually really going on with the R. Kelly situation with these women. It appears that the women want to be there. And it fits so well into what we're going to talk about as far as film production today, because we're talking about composition and having clarity within film. And the documentary shined the light on and gave clarity to what's actually happening in with the R. Kelly situation. And what's really happening is, again, the young ladies want to be there, and if they're of age, then there's nothing more that can be said about the situation except for they're of age and they're doing what they want to do, and they will get in contact with you when they're ready to get in contact with you, and that's just the way it is. So that's one aspect of having clarity. The next aspect of clarity is a question that Jada Pinkett asked. She said, "How is it that R. Kelly's music sales have spiked substantially since the release of the docu-series Surviving R. Kelly? I need some help in understanding what I am missing." That's what she said. So let me grab that real quick and drop that in so you can watch her ask this question here, and maybe you would want to chime in too. My answer to her question, like what I typed to her, is it's not that, because she went and alluded to the fact that, and what they were pushing on the documentary, that black girls are less valued, that it appears that they don't matter. And the answer to that question is, it's not that black girls appear to not matter, but it's before anyone would do anything as far as what's happening with R. Kelly and these young ladies who are of adult age now. Before people would do anything, the parents, the guardians, the grandparents would have to have put their foot down and stopped and said, "No, this is not going on. I'm not going to have this happen. I'm not going to even take my daughter around R. Kelly at any situation. I'm not going to take my daughter around to R. Kelly." So I answered Jada Pinkett and I told her, I said, it's not about that. It's about when will the parents, the grandparents, and the guardians, legal guardians, care more about the black girls before they even think about taking them around R. Kelly, right? So you wouldn't, in actuality, like my mother used to say to me, "I'm going to get you up from under the feet of people. When you turn 18, then you'll be able to make your own decisions, but you will be from off of under the feet of people, and then you make your own decisions from there." And that's how my mother worked, and that's how it was, and that's how it is. So don't put your kids in that type of situation, or expect that when children are dealing with older people, everything that happens with older people, the situations and the environment that's around, they will be exposed to all of that. Either you understand that or you don't, and that's, again, is having clarity in picture about what's actually going on, right? When you realize that they will be exposed to everything that grown people are exposed to, children, when they're within grown folk environment, will be exposed to that. So to Jada Pinkett, I would ask, what's going on with your family? And when you did the red table discussions, you were speaking on different things that were happening in your family, and certain revelations have come out in the press and on the internet about your children. And I would say, well, it would almost seem like, well, I won't say that. Moving on. So, did you see our different installments of the film review? If you didn't see that, I'm going to tag those in right now, because you should watch them, because I gave a prediction on the last. This is installment 1 coming up. Our review of the 3 days of the 6 parts of Surviving R. Kelly. This is our next installment, reviewing Surviving R. Kelly. Let me make sure. Oh no, I put 3 up first. Okay, well, let's go back. Let's get 2 so that you'll have it and put it up. So these should be all 3 volumes here, unless I blew it somehow, but we'll find out. Let me make sure. Yeah, that's it. That's right. Okay. So all 3 installments are up. Now, in part 3 of Surviving R. Kelly, I gave a prediction. and I said that this docu-series is not going to do anything but make R. Kelly bigger. And as sure as I said that, as sure is what is happening, that R. Kelly's music is going up. And that's what Jada Pinkett was talking about. Why is his music going up, shooting up and revisiting? Now, remember, Spotify, when all of this came out, was saying that they were going to stop playing R. Kelly's music, take him off the favorites list and knock him down so it will be harder to find. But what you find later, like they put that in a documentary, but what you find later, that right after that happened, there was such a large backlash that Spotify had to turn around and change direction on that. And matter of fact, they said that R. Kelly sales are up 16%. So what they're telling the people is that, this is about paper, and R. Kelly is still going to be played. You understand what I'm saying? That R. Kelly is still going to be played and put on top because his music sells. So that's a little recap on that. We're not going to beat a dead horse on R. Kelly anymore. We just wanted to talk about it because we won't be speaking on it again unless some other facts come up later in other the film review podcasts and also here. But again, what we're talking about is clarity and understanding what you're seeing and how you compose a picture. And within the documentary, there was some clarity that was not, there was some composing of images that were not necessarily factual indeed, as far as they composed them. So it wasn't factual. And it left a lot to be desired. Now, what I'm getting ready to put up now is the film review podcast on SoundCloud, because we're on SoundCloud, and a lot of people listen to us over there. They just listen to the audio versions after they watch the video version. So that's coming up. Then we also want to put up the Lordlandfilms.com hip hop mixtapes and podcasts. What's interesting is, like I spoke to you before about how Lordland Films continues to deliver new product each week, maybe 3 or 4 different products a week. We just did last Friday. We just did the Red Pill from L.I.V.E Media. We just interviewed him. He was interviewed on Like It Is Radio, and it's already turned into a podcast. We also interviewed Raquel Harper from TMZ, and also Rock Rants on BET. So we have that up on the Lordland.com hip hop. And then we also have the most important part of film production already turned into a podcast on Lordlandfilms.com hip hop mixtapes podcast on SoundCloud, which is under Crayzon Deeyon on SoundCloud. You see the links up there, so go there. And of course, we have the Crazy D mixtape brand Volume 1 Episode 1 up, and we will be going for submissions of new videos for Volume 2, which will be coming out very shortly, in about the next week or so, I would say. So again, having clarity and being able to produce and bring about clarity within picture is what we here at Lordland Films do. And that's what our goal is, and that's what we produce. Now, What I want to talk about today is clarity in picture and composition. What I noticed watching a lot of films from out of, independent film in general, I won't say, there is a shortage in knowledge of sound, image of picture, composition of picture, and the edit on the finished product is not necessarily up to necessarily industry standard. That's what I've noticed about some productions. Anyone that I connect with, that we connect with, and we talk and we exchange links and things, you know, I don't think that way about their work. I believe their work is good, so we'll say that. All right, what's going on to DJ Remix? DJ Remix. We interrupted. There we go. What's going on to DJ Remix? He just called, but I can't pick up right now because I'm on a live stream here. But like I said, what I noticed is that there's a shortage in knowing how to go about composition. Composition is a ability to arrange what is in the background and what is in the foreground. As you see, like in the background of me is a green screen, and then later I'll take it in the magic of Blackwood ability and turn it into a totally different background than what the green screen is, right? Same type of concept that what you see on the news when the weatherman is pointing at something and saying this is going to be 78 degrees, 100 degrees in Las Vegas this weekend, and they're pointing at it, and it's the image behind them is what they're pointing at, but actually it's just the green screen, right? So the way that I am composed in this image here is a correct image. We'll get into what I'm talking about correct image, but as you see, I'm here. It's a pleasant image. Even on the Instagram, I'm composed in a pleasant image where you're able to see me. There's enough room on each side. If I wanted to put something right here and advertise something, I could. That's what you call composing a picture that is interesting, well lit for the people, and showing that you take time to put yourself across in the best way possible on the screen. Even if it's a live stream, you're putting yourself across the best of your ability so that people will enjoy the finished image. All right. So that is what Lordlandfilms is about. We do not short on that. We do not play with that because we are not in competition with our brothers and sisters. We are in competition with the machine, the Hollywood machine. We are always in competition with the Hollywood machine to make sure that we produce something that people will be seen, heard, recognized, and appreciated. We are always in that competition. I do not compete with my brothers and sisters because competing with my brothers and sisters, that only keeps us going around in this perpetual circle and not advancing. So if you want to set your bar, you have to set your bar to grab at something that, is already pushing, right? So let's take Lisa Ray or someone like that. I wouldn't compete against her. I would compete against her Caucasian counterpart. See, that's how my brain is wired. I'm going to compete against the Caucasian counterpart because they compete and have continued to compete and find ways to keep us stagnated and keep us down. So that's my purpose. Okay. So now, what I'm going to put up. Have you seen the new Lordlandfilms.com website? We just came up. We did a few new things, but there are some new sites that are connected. The L.I.V.E Channel, Lordland Intellectual Vibe Electric Channel is connected now in the Navi bar. So when you click there, you're able to go and click straight to the channel and go see the various programs that we have. Also, the Hip Hop Mixtape Podcast on SoundCloud is there. You can click straight there from the Lordlandfilms.com site. And also, the film review site is also connected within the Navi bar. So you can go right there, click, boom, it takes you right there. You can also check out the Crazy D bio. You can check out the store. You already know about the products. We have the the film review shirt up, ready to go. We also have the Lordland TV prices. Of course, my price list as far as my work when you contact me. And everything is negotiable depending on the product or the project and what its potential finish can be, front end or tail end, if you know what I mean. Crazy D photography, and so go check that out. That's under more. Composition. So we just finished talking about composition, and composition is how you lay out an image. See, in this world that we live in, the world that we live in is 3D. It's a 3D world that we live in, but film is only 2D. It's only two-dimensional. You're only going to see two-dimensional. Depending on how you set up what you do is how you give the illusion of it being a 3D image. Hey, what's going on, Sneaky D? Waving back at you, saying it live right over there. Thanks for tuning in on Instagram. So it's an illusion of what you do. So people who are filmmakers, they should come on and hear this or pass it on or share the link on to people who are filmmakers so they can hear this. So how you set up your image, your 2D image, it's two-dimensional, but when you set it up, it gives the illusion of you being a 3D image. And that's what film is about. If people don't know, that's exactly what film is about. It's about taking that two-dimensional image and turning it into 3 dimensions. So your composition, you cannot look through the lens and look at the image because you see it as 3D. That's how our eyes see the world in 3D. You can't take a photograph or even a video camera and do what you do and look at it and say, okay, yeah, this image is good. You have to manipulate the image and look at it and say that I have to make this a 3-dimensional image. So you have to take pictures. This is how you would do it. You take pictures and you adjust until you get to what looks pleasant and looks like a 3D image. Now, if I'm looking straight at you, then that is flat. But if I'm here and I'm looking at you, you're seeing a 3-dimensional image. Tell Kelly what's going on. Listen, so here is flat. Here is the 3-dimensional image. or you see 3 dimensions. So it's all in how you compose an image. And so that's very important that you should take heed and understand that I see a lot of flat imaging because people don't realize or necessarily know that fact that it's not what you bring out in your camera is only 2-dimensional. It's not 3-dimensional. But again, how you set up, then you make things look 3-dimensional. But if you just go flat, then it's just flat. But when you turn it, it's 3-dimensional and you see the image. That's called composition. That's the number one thing that you learn when you're doing film, is how to produce pleasant to the eye composition. And that's the purpose. So now, I've just finished producing my first episode of Lordlandfilms How To Series. So it's the Lordlandfilms How To Series, and it goes and it talks about various techniques and what we're dealing with first now, from what I've seen, the shortage in people knowing the basics. So what we're doing is we're going to go through and teach the basics of filmmaking. And even those who are accomplished at film can watch this and learn from it, because you may forget some things. And so we're here at Lordland Films to do the How To series. And it's narrated by yours truly and edited by yours truly, shot by yours truly. And so we're bringing the perspective. So what I'm getting ready to do right now is grab that link, and we're going to put it in the link, link it up so that you can add it and watch it. Now, there's an old saying, the game is to be sold, not told. So, for a mere pittance, you're going to get the first installment, the first episode of Lordlandfilms How To Series, narrated by yours truly, Crazy D. And it has to do with composition. And as we go through, this is the first episode within a series of about 5 or 6 episodes within the series, which are going to be dealing with composition. And it opens up with the basics of the basic knowledge that you need to know about composition. And it's only $1.99, or if you want to have it in your digital library, it's $5.99. So, you can go there and watch it. The trailer is there. You can the link is in the description and up on the screen. So you can go there, click there, watch the trailer, and then go on ahead and pick up the first episode. And each week, we're going to be dropping in new lessons on how to and compositions. And that's going to be a series of 6 on composition. And then each step, we're going to go and drop in. We're going to talk about lighting. We're going to talk about all these different things. And then, we give little tidbits here on Crazy D Talks film production. So, now, did you see the Golden Globes last night? We want to shout out to, I still can't pronounce his first name, Mahershala Ali, supporting actor, best supporting actor for Green Book. Now, if you didn't get a chance to watch our the film review where we reviewed the Green Book, we kind of spoke on the fact that the character of the black piano player was kind of one-dimensional. He was a one-dimensional character. A great film, though, but it was not a civil rights film. It was not about necessarily a relationship between the driver and the piano player, but it was a love story between the husband and wife, the driver and his wife. And that's what we told you it was. And but the trailer made it seem like it was more about the black man when really it was about the love between the husband and wife and the long distance relationships, the letter writing, etc. So it's not a civil rights piece, but it did show the dignity of this black man. And we always ask the question, why do we always have to be necessarily dignified just to get respect, whereas you watch movies like Goodfellas, etc., 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 and these people are not dignified, and they get all of the accolades and all of the expressions of love for that particular type of character, but we have to be so above board to be there. So he won for Best Supporting Actor, and I told you that this was not a story about him. And so when they put him in the Supporting Actor category and the driver was in the Lead Actor category, I said, see, we were right. How about that? We were right exactly on the film review. So go back and watch that review about the Green Book. Also, Regina King won Best Supporting Actress for If Beale Street Could Talk. And we're going to see that film, that's going to be one of the films that we review on the film review, because again, it is a great composite. Its composition speaks to something that was written about in the 60s that is still relevant today, because we have not taken care of business as far as what it concerns. So the composition is still correct. What James Baldwin talked about then is still as on point as it was then. One more thing about the R. Kelly situation. Every time the people get on the programs, they call him Rob. They say Rob. The parents call him Rob. The people who left call him Rob. So obviously the people who are still there are calling him Rob. When you call someone by their first name or even a short of their name, it's as if you're in a friendly relationship with them. If you're in a antagonistic relationship, though, you're going to say him by his business name, which is R. Kelly, or you're going to say Mr. Kelly or that dude Kelly, or you're not going to call him by his first name, because it's a antagonism that's going on there, and you're not in the best of relationship with that person. But all the time they call him Rob. They say Rob must have them there. Rob, if you construct a sentence, a composition, composition in film is just like composition in English. Matter of fact, in filmmaking, there is a film grammar, and composition is part of that grammar. So in English, when you compose a sentence, Rob must have her in his house, and I haven't been able to see her. Now, when you put that in there, when you're saying that, Rob. Now, if you're in an antagonistic relationship and you're trying to get something resolved and you're angry at that person, you will say, that dude Kelly got her in there, got her over there, and I haven't been able to see her in years, and fuck that motherfucker, and da. That's how you would compose a sentence. But when you're sitting up there and you're saying, Rob has, it's as if you were friends, and you were around them, and you chopped it up, and you had dinner before, and you did all that, and it was a longer relationship than what you're telling. See how composition works? It's composition, and depending on how you speak about a person depends on if you have a if you have an endearment towards them or you have a disdain towards them. And that's what people seem to not be hearing when the people are talking. So their composition, and how they're framing what they're saying is off. So just back on that, because I had jotted down a few notes. So again, you're watching Crazy D Talks film production. And if you hadn't noticed yet, I want to tell you, I take topics and I wrap them around and bring them into film speak and film information. Because I show you how composition works, even with this R. Kelly situation, or even with the families when they're talking, they should change their syntax just a little and be a little more hostile. Drop the Rob. Say Kelly, that Kelly has her over there, and I want to see my daughter. But when you say Rob has her over there, and I just want to see my daughter, well, that doesn't work. Poor composition, because you're saying Rob. I wouldn't know that you would know him that personally. Like, if your daughter is truly in bondage. So, just food for thought for those when when different family members see this. Now, what I'm getting ready to put up now is the YouTube. The film review YouTube. We have, of course, the film review on there, and we have other shows that Lordlandfilms is producing, like Interviews of Consciousness, Crazy D Talks film production. Soon this will be up with the background different than what you see here. Then we have Like It Is Conscious Radio. Again, we have the Raquel interview from TMZ up, and we also have Red Pill from Red Pill, Blue Pill from Know the Ledge Media, Conscious Brothers. Then we have the Lordland shorts, which are various shorts that yours truly, Crazy D, wrote, produced, directed, edited, sometimes act in, narrate, most definitely. So you can see all of that. Then we have the Black Ice Chronicles movies, the first 4 movies that really kicked it all off. Females, the Black Ice Chronicles, the Shifter, Situations movie, and then the one that's always coming back, and people love it all the time when they watch it. Back in Cleveland movie. All of these are the Black Ice Chronicles TBIC movies that came out. Then we have the Black Ice Chronicles Season 6, the Black Ice Chronicles Season 5, and then we have Crazy D mixes, remixes, and compilations. If you want to hear where it all started from and where I get my unique style of film cutting from, I started out as a DJ, producing remix cassettes and DJing college parties. So my emphasis on music has to do with the rhythm of the step, most definitely. And that's what we do. It's a certain rhythm to my cut and my style of everything that I do. And it comes from my DJ background. So we want to say that. So when you go there, you will enjoy yourself, because we have multiple, the work is tremendous. And we're coming out with Season 7 of the Black Ice Chronicles. Now, I don't want anyone to think that they came up with this idea, after I say this. I kind of alluded to it in Episode 1 of Crazy D Talks film production, but I don't want anybody to say that they thought that they took this idea, and it's not, an idea, because we've been doing podcasting, right? And there are podcasts that are acting podcasts. Tom Joyner did it. It was radio programming back then, but you could take those same shows that he did and turn them into acting podcasts, where you listen and the Foley is in there. Foley is the sound effects that you hear, footsteps and all that, doors slamming, breeze, trees, flowers, bees, birds, just the sound effects you hear, cars screeching, doors slamming, all that. That's called Foley. So the Black Ice Chronicles 7th season is a podcast that is voice talent. So in other words, I'm recruiting voice talent to play these parts. Still scripted, still the 120-page script, except we're going to turn them into podcasts, and you're going to be able to listen. What's going on, Franklin G? Thanks for checking in and watching. So we're going to be turning these into podcasts. So it's not going to be the live action film anymore, because I have at least 75 scripts set up, and I'm going to show them one day up here. I got 75 scripts, but I don't have the actors to to bring it across, because actors sometimes around don't necessarily stick. They flake out. They seem to get the exposure, and we talked about that in episode 1. They get the exposure, and then people are looking at them, and then they forget that before the Lordland brand, nobody was really looking at them, and then afterwards, they write and say, well, when are you doing your next situation? We want to come back and do again. I was like, wow, because once it stops, it dries up. That's the way it was also in other places. But we're going to say, so now, instead of having to worry about necessarily, okay, wait a minute, Icy Jones, what's going on, Icy? You are calling, and want to shout out to you. What's going on to Icy Jones? He's calling in. But right now I'm on the air doing the thing here. And let's bring this back up. There we go. We're back up. All right. So shout out to Icy Jones. He won Independent Artist of the Year. You know what I mean? Need his contact. That's right. What's going on? Yeah, Franklin G. Yeah, we talked to Icy Jones because the Kimmin in the Desert series is coming up in February, the last week of February, 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And on the 23rd of February, which I believe is that Saturday of February. Correct me if I'm wrong, Franklin, but I believe that it's that Saturday. They're having I don't know the exact name of it, but I'm going to describe it. It's about how the music from the struggle, from being taken from the motherland and crossing the going through the aisles of no return, being put on the boats, and then crossing over the Atlantic to the shores of America, well, to various different places, but we're speaking of on American drop-off right now, and how the spirit is brought about by the spiritual, which was the Negro spiritual, and how the Negro spiritual has advanced and has produced not only gospel music, but also gospel, R&B, soul music, and even jazz most definitely, jazz, gospel, soul music, and of course now hip-hop music. And how this internal drum that we have that fights to end the struggle, we keep going on, and the drum and the music is the connection point from Africa. I'm probably going to put Africa in right there, up to and over to America, and I probably put America over here, but I'm gonna make America real small because you know America can fit into big Africa. You know, on the maps they make Africa little and make America and all the other continents be on Africa like probably be like this, and America be like this, and it can fit in. Just imagine how many times America can fit. Okay, into the continent of Africa, but that's enough. Okay, but anyway, see, composition. You see that? Composition. When you get the right composition, then you're telling the story correctly, and that's what we want. So, anyway, I went off on a tangent there. So let's reel back in and say. So we spoke on. So we were sitting and we have lunch. Shout out to everyone who we have lunch with, LJ and all that. We sit and have lunch and we discuss. And you know, I said, well, I.C. Jones is good because he's a gospel rapper and he knows how to put pen to pad or pencil to pad and deliver lyrics that are incredible and people love what he does. Let me go here because what I'll do is I'll put up one of the episodes of Black Book Hip Hop, you know, Crazy D video mixtape brand, formerly Black Book Hip Hop, because you know, you find out, we've discussed that about the person that's behind it is often the one that keeps it moving, baby, and so that's what that is. So let me go here, but within that there were 3 volumes of Black Book Hip Hop. So let me go here and grab. We go here and put the link in for episode 1. Episode 1 features I.C. Jones. He has a song called Get Up, well, it's called Go to Church. First of all, let me put in the YouTube channel so that you can check that out. But he has one called Go to Church, and it's a catchy tune. And he does the type of music that, you know, relates to everyone, even though he does a gospel type format. All right. So let's see. Where was I? All right. So we wanted to put that down. So we talked to him. We talked, and they got a chance to meet over at the bistro, and we look forward to having IC doing some things if everything can be. If time constraints and everybody's time is, you know, right, we look forward to doing that. Okay. So now, people, we've talked about composition, and I put the link up. And let me put the link up one more time so that you can go there and watch the first episode on composition. What's going on? Catrice Thomas, better known as Miss Deepa, just checked in. She said she joined, and let me post this right here so you can go and check out the first episode of on composition. It's going to be 6 within the series, and then within the larger series of Lordlandfilms How To Series, we're going to be moving into different aspects of filmmaking, like I said before, lighting, etc., etc., etc. Also, let me go here, since Miss Diva has just chimed in. Let me go here to, where do I want to go? There we go. Let's go here to L.I.V.E Channel, and let me put the link into Diva's Comedy. We shot this last Father's Day, and you know, we do our thing. It is viewer discretion is advised because Miss Diva brings it true and raw. You know what I mean? I like blue comedy, and that's what she brings to the table. So that's up. So if you hadn't noticed, within the composition that I'm building, have you noticed that it's always constantly something being produced? What's going on, Sin City? What's going on with you? Sin City Cat, what's going on? Waving, we waving back. She's on Instagram. You can also see us. We're broadcasting both on Instagram and on Facebook Live. And we're putting all the links up on Facebook Live. So afterwards you can check it. But then this will be up on YouTube with the background changed and taking it to a new thing. I want to shout out to Sin City Cat because she's doing her thing. She was in the battle for reproductive rights, I'll say. Being able to have control, a woman being able to have control of her body without need of faulty reproduction products, I'll say, without the need of people creating instruments that are actually faulty to the body. So, you know, we're checking it out, you know what I'm saying, and possibly come down and do some simulcasting with you on your radio show and do some cross marketing. Let's get that underway. So definitely shout out to you. So now what I'm getting ready to put up is the Twitter. Make sure you follow the Crazy D Film Dude Twitter page. You know, there you get to see everything that we're doing all at once in one place, you know, posting and everything. See, I'm putting together this composition. See, this is a metaphor. You see what I'm saying? This is a simile. This is an analogy. This is to this as that is to that. You see what I'm saying? So we're putting it all together, and however you choose to use it, you know, you use it. So, like I said before, which I'm going to put it up again, we have the Lordlandfilms How To Series. Like I said, I've seen a lot of work, and I've seen that people aren't necessarily creating the 3D imaging necessary to say that it is a great composition. You know, the information can be there, and a lot of times the sound necessarily isn't there, the lighting isn't necessarily there, but we here at Lordland Films, we pride ourselves in producing the lighting and making sure that what you see is excellent, because we want our people seeing, heard, recognized, and appreciated in a beautiful light that competes. Again, I do not compete with my own. I compete with those who have traditionally tried to keep us down. That's who I compete with. What's going on to Let's Go to Work Entertainment? Waving at you, and thumbs up to you also. You do great work, and we're looking forward to doing some more collabing and things, because the next volume of Crazy D video mixtape is coming out, and if you got one of those interviews with a new MC like what you did in Black Book, send it over. We're going to definitely put it in, because they're out there on the grind, in the street, making sure that the people are exposed that way. You know what I mean? And me, I'm here to bring the images and to bring the knowledge so that the images come off flawless, so that we all can compete, not with each other, but with those who have traditionally been there to try to keep us down, oppressed, etc., etc., etc. No need to beat a dead horse. Crazy D here. So you're watching Crazy D Talks film production, and we've been talking about composition and how to compose the complete image, and I've given you many different examples in situations that are actually happening right now, as far as what's happening with girls, with R. Kelly, with film that I see, and getting it to that level, and how composition in film is the same as composition in written. Okay, I'm getting another call here. We're going to dismiss this call. You keep pausing me. Here. And there we go. Okay, we're back. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to post is the Lordlandfilms page on Facebook. First of all, let me first post again the series so that you can go there and do that. So the next thing that we're posting is the Lordlandfilms page on Facebook. There you join that, like that, subscribe to it. So on all these pages that we have, watch, like, share, subscribe, follow. That's it. Watch, like, share, subscribe, follow all of these pages, because there's always something different on each one of the pages, and there are alike things on the pages. But we make sure that we produce varying situations to make sure that the Lordlandfilms.com composition is complete and correct. So again, I think that's pretty much about it. What's going on to Kenneth Dorsey? Thanks for sharing. Oh no, you liked the video. Thanks for liking the video on Facebook. Make sure that everyone goes back and watches it, because we give information out within it, and we give shout outs to our people who are making it happen in the community and around the globe. And remember, it's about correct composition in 2019. Making sure that the composition is correct and that you're seeing what you want to see. You see that? Make sure that you see what you want to see. And always remember, this is a gem that we're giving out. This is flat. This is flat. This is three-dimensional. And that what makes great composition is it gives the illusion of three-dimensional work. So that's it for right now. And make sure, again, let me grab that again, because this is very important that you go there, because the game is to be sold, not told. And we gave you a little, but in these how-to pieces within the How To series by Lordlandfilms, we're going to give you the building blocks. And then once you get the building blocks within this 6-part series, before it branches off into lighting, etc., 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 then you can take those building blocks and use your own heartbeat that is an extension from the African heartbeat that extended across to the Americas, and you can use your individual heartbeat to create something that's original for you. So I want to thank everybody for watching. Shout out to everyone that watched this, and those who will be watching in the future, and we will see you next Monday. I came on a little late because I was working on some edits, but like I said, word is bond, and you will see us broadcasting on Monday with Crazy D Talks film production. I'm out for now. See you next Monday.